Hello and welcome if this is your first time here. My name is April. This is the Frugal Planner channel, and if this is a return trip for you, welcome back. I am really excited to do a follow-up video for my inventory sheets. I know I made a few different sheets to kind of show you how I track different things and how I keep my food inventory straight. I am a canner, so you're looking at my canning inventory, but this could be for anything. Diced tomatoes, marinara, spaghetti sauce, tomato sauce, all of this stuff is what we buy from the grocery store anyway. So I wanted to show you, I've got a lot of columns, a lot of rows, a lot of things going on. I don't date this. So when I take an inventory, it's usually once a week that I take an inventory. And I try to keep up on it so that when I'm making my grocery list, I can look and say, or look and see what I currently have as far as food available to me in my own house. So once I decide, let's say this week I am making a pot of chili, like I'm really craving chili. So I am going to need one of these diced tomatoes. So I'm going to mark that I have 11. I have 11 left. And then I am also going to be using one black bean, one kidney, and one pinto for my chili. I'm also going to use one of my beef stock just to give it some really good body. Now, when I'm looking at this, I'm down to 5, right? 5 is still a good amount. We're not going to run out on 5 beans. 5 cans of beans or 5 jars of beans. But as we continue to go through it, let's say I need a can of black beans because we're doing taco salads. So then I go and I get another can, which brings me down to 4 cans. Still, I think that's okay. Unless I'm putting an order in and I'm short and I'm like, oh, maybe I want to add da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I can look at this and I can be like, you know what, I'm going to add 2 cans so that I can get back up to 6. So then I am going to make this a little more bold. I'm going to bolden that and I'm going to go back up to 6. So then I know I have ordered 2 more. My pantry is back up to 6. I can do the same thing down here with pineapple juice. If I get down to 1, and I know I like to have 2 on hand, darken this box here and write in 2. Then I know I've added 1 as I take 1. It is easier, I will be honest with you, as you use them, especially the items you use a lot, like spaghetti sauces for me. These are all items that we go through quite a bit. I use a lot of spaghetti sauce for so many different things. I use it for taco soup base. I use it sometimes as a chili base if I'm out of diced tomatoes. I will use it as a pizza sauce and just cook it down till it's thicker. I mean, you would be amazed at what you can use spaghetti sauce as a base for. It's an amazing thing. So then for like my pears and jams or my jams and butters and stuff like that, I only can those once a year. So I have a stock of a dozen at the start of fall. The beginning of fall, I have a dozen. By the end of the season, by the time, the fall comes around again, we may have 1 or 2 on the shelves, but not a surplus again. So then I build it back up. Things we don't use as often, I wouldn't worry about, but like mild salsa or any kind of salsa, that stuff is like second nature for us. I put it in Spanish rice. I put it in tacos. I put it in a lot of things. I even will do it in our taco soup too. So as you're working through your pantry, your canning, your freezer, or your fridge, and you're finding that you're using these things, like this is a freezer inventory. I did it this way so that you could see, you could also have it landscape instead of portrait. So right here, you see that I've used 1 of our ground burger and 1 of our lamb burger. So that only leaves us 1 in the freezer. Now, if I decide I am going to make, let's say I'm going to make meatballs. So then I take another 1 and that leaves me with 0 for each one of those. That means I have nothing in the freezer to make hamburger to make hamburgers, to make meat sauce, to make meatballs. I don't have anything in there for that. So then I need to plan accordingly. Am I going to watch for sales on these two items? Absolutely. Am I going to buy them at regular price? No. So we just may not have them in the freezer for a while, and that's okay. If I get low on a beef roast, and let's say beef roast is not on sale and I am down to one, I'll just keep an eye on it. It is really nice to know what's happening in the freezer. You know, we've got 6 things of corn and 2 things of peas. So I would try to use more corn during the week than I would maybe peas. I would try to think of recipes that have corn in them, like a corn and potato chowder. That would be really good. And I've got plenty of corn to do that with. So just thinking outside of the box and looking at the inventory that you have and planning your meals accordingly, and then keeping an eye on the sales. Now, let's say our supermarket is having a really good sale on lamb burger, and I haven't seen it this low per pound in a very long time. I might pick up 3. So I'm going to highlight this box, I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to put 3 in there. Because it's such a good deal, I want to have 3 on hand. And then let's say beef roasts go on sale. I've got 1 in the fridge right now. What if I buy 2 more, and then I've got a total of 3? That's perfect. And then I can kind of keep an eye on that and say, okay, I need to keep an eye on hamburger, or if the roast was such a good deal, could I grind my own burger out of one of those roasts, and then I've got hamburger again. Being creative with what you can get is such a skill, such a skill. I was talking in another video about Wes purchasing a whole pork tenderloin, and then cutting pork chops out of the tenderloin, and how much money we saved. It was a $10 pork tenderloin, and you can either buy that for $10, or you can buy, 2 pork chops that are cut for you, boneless, from the tenderloin for $10. So you're getting this big tenderloin that you can make a dozen pork chops out of, or 2 pork chops. So being able to process your own meat too is an important skill. And if you don't have like a grinder, you can use the pulse button on your food processor to make a ground meat texture. Same with ground chicken. Although our store has had ground chicken cheaper than chicken breasts. So I have just been buying the ground chicken and freezing it. So keep an eye on your store's sales, keep an eye on your inventory. And if you're shopping and you take this inventory sheet with you and you see that, they've got, let's say they've got a surplus, they'll say they've got butter on sale, but you've already got 4 packages of butter in the freezer. You can look at that sale and you can think, could I pick up maybe 1 more, and then I would have 5, or 2 more and I would have 6. How long is that going to take me to go through? And how long has the butter been in the freezer? If you've got 4 all the way across, and then you're like, well, maybe I don't need butter because we're not going through it as fast as I thought we were. That's another thing. Like shrimp for us, I love shrimp. We think of things to make shrimp all of the time. So having 2 in the freezer is good. Would I go below that? Probably not. I wouldn't go below 2, because if we have company, that's also a quick thing I can throw together, is like shrimp tacos, easy peas. Whole chicken, that's another thing, the chicken you can put in the crock pot. Really easy meal on a Saturday or Sunday, or a day that you're home. Throw the chicken in the crock pot, put some potatoes and carrots in with it, with some onions, season it with some sage and salt and pepper, and let it just do its thing all day. And it makes the most amazing, tender, juicy chicken with the potatoes and the carrots. Oh, so yummy. And then you can use your chicken and make chicken stock out of it. Put it in a stock pot, fill it up with water, throw your vegetables that you didn't use in there, and boil it for a few hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. You can also do it in the crock pot if you want, and let it go all day. That's how I can my chicken stock, is I will let it go all day long in our roaster, and I'll put like 3 or 4 carcasses. That's such a bad word. Chicken, I don't want to say chicken bodies, because that's even worse, isn't it? Yeah, all the bones. I'll put all the bones in there. And if you've ever deconstructed a chicken, a whole chicken from from the grocery store, you know that there's little particles of bones in there. So a lot of times I will put my chickens that have been, all the meat's been removed, or most of the meat, in cheesecloth, and then put them in the roaster so that I'm not fighting all of those little bones when I go to sift out like the chicken fat from the actual stock. I feel like I've given you a lot of information, more information than just how to keep track of your inventory. I apologize. I kind of get on a tangent. If you have any questions on anything about this, I'm happy to do more videos. I'm happy to do more setups. This is really helpful. It has been helpful for us to go through our freezer, see what our stock is, and then be able to eat the food that we've purchased and not let it go bad, like freezer burn, or, you know, if it opens and it spills in the freezer, then we've got a mess. So this has been helpful. Same with our canning, our pantry, and our refrigerator, just keeping track of dates, throwing things away when they're outdated, and then being aware of what's coming up. So if we have a bunch of, let's say, salad dressings that are coming up to their best date or their expiration date, we try to think of meals that are going to use that. And remember, a lot of your salad dressings can be used as marinades too. I will tell you, one of my favorite things to do with a salmon steak is put Catalina dressing on it with a couple slices of lemons and put it on the barbecuer and just let it go. It is so yummy. Another thing you can do if you've got shoyu sauce and mayonnaise is mix those two together. Put open face oysters on your barbecue, slather that stuff on the oyster, and let that thing barbecue for like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes until the sauce starts to bubble around the edge. My favorite way to have oysters. Although I don't keep those on hand. Those are like a special thing. I can't think of any other recipes to give you. Let me know if you have any questions. I really hope you have amazing meals this week. I love you, and I will see you down in the comments. Happy eating. Bye.